Now, it is the second day of Israel versus South Africa at the United Nations top court. Israel is responding to South Africa's accusations of it committing genocide in Gaza. Israel has termed the allegations as profoundly distorted, while adding that the case does not reflect the on-ground reality.
The attempt to weaponize the term genocide against Israel in the present context does more than tell the court a grossly distorted story. And it does more than empty the word of its unique force and special meaning.
Israel's top lawyer at the International Court of Justice at The Hague said, and I'm quoting here, "The entirety of the case hinges on a deliberately curated and decontextualized description of the current realities." It further said that Israel is not seeking to destroy the Palestinians, but rather it's working to protect its own people who are under attack on multiple fronts. Before the hearings proceeded, the wartime Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also remarked that Israel is accused of genocide at a time when it is fighting genocide itself.
We are fighting terrorists and we are fighting lies. Today, again, we saw an upside-down world in which Israel is accused of genocide at a time when it is fighting genocide. Israel is fighting against murderous terrorists who committed horrific crimes against humanity.
Backing Israel's defense in the case, the U.S. State Department called the South African case as unfounded. On the day one of the hearing, South Africa accused Israel of breaching the UN Genocide Convention. The convention was signed back in 1948 in the wake of the Holocaust. The African country wants Israel to immediately stop its campaign, where at least over 23,400 people have been killed in the besieged strip. Pretoria says that Israel has crossed the line, while adding that even the brutality of the Hamas attack on October 7th could not justify Israel's actions in Gaza. Hamas killed over 1,200 and took 240 as hostages in Gaza on October 7th. Post-apartheid South Africa has been a champion of Palestinian cause and often links its struggle to its own fight against discrimination. Israel has labeled South Africa as the legal arm of Hamas, while describing its case as one of the greatest shows of hypocrisy in history. For the emergency proceedings, the court will not rule on if Israel is committing genocide or not, but on whether the rights of Gazans to exist are at risk. The rulings of ICJ are final and legally binding. However, the International Court has little power to enforce them. This is not the first time such a case has come up. In 2022, Ukraine filed a case against Russia, while Gambia filed a case against Myanmar against the Rohingya in 2019. Now, to decode this further, our correspondent Jody Cohen has sent us a report. Take a look.
Thursday was South Africa's opportunity to make its case at the ICJ. It accused Israel of deliberate genocide through the war and a lack of aid. Friday is Israel's turn to make its case. Israel has suggested it has done more to try to protect civilians than any other country in the history of warfare. It says it has evidence that Hamas uses Gazan civilians as human shields and that Hamas purposely embeds itself in community centres like schools, putting civilians in harm's way. Furthermore, Israel says that it is not denying any aid into Gaza, but that Hamas is stealing much of the aid. It will take years for the court to make its final ruling, but a provisional ruling could be expected over the next few weeks. Meanwhile, there are fears that the Israel-Hamas war could expand as the US and UK have launched airstrikes targeting the Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen. This follows a series of Houthi attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. Iran has called the airstrikes a violation of Yemen's sovereignty and a breach of international law. Israel's defense minister has suggested Iran is the source of attacks from 7 fronts on Israel, and the US, UK, France and others have called on Iran to de-escalate. This is Jodie Cohen for WION World as One.